Matter of fact, I'm proud to serve this turkey. It is super delicious. I need another bite.
If you've been following for a while, you know that I've smoked, I've fried, I've grilled turkeys, but my favorite turkey has always been the MommaTex turkey in the oven. And this year, I'm gonna try to make that MommaTex style turkey. Last year, MommaTex was here to help me. This year, I'm going at it all alone. So we're gonna do a few things in this video. First, we're gonna do an overnight brine on my turkey. MommaTex doesn't do that, but I like that extra juicy flavor that I get with the brine. Then, I'll be using a few special ingredients to give that turkey a ton of flavor. And once it gets into the oven, it's gonna be a waiting game to make sure that we get it all cooked at exactly the same time. I'm also gonna whip up a super delicious gravy. Plus, I'll be sharing a few tips along the way so y'all know how to make a perfect MommaTex turkey. Let's get this oven fired up and start cooking that MommaTex style turkey. Vámonos!
Tip number one, friends. Brine your turkey. In case you didn't know, brining adds moisture and flavor into the turkey, and there are two parts to the brining process. First, we make the brine. The base of my go-to brine recipe is simple. It's 1 gallon of distilled water, 1 cup of coarse kosher salt, and 1 cup of white sugar. But keep in mind that some of the turkeys on the shelves come pre-brined and or injected. Today, I'm cooking a turkey like that, so I'm cutting the salt and sugar in the brine recipe in half. So to brine this turkey, I'm starting with 1/2 gallon of water in a bowl, then adding my salt and sugar to the water, plus a teaspoon of poultry seasoning. Then I'll stir and mix this thoroughly until the salt and sugar fully dissolve. After that, I add a tablespoon of better than bouillon roasted chicken base, but you can use any consomme you like. I stirred that thoroughly and allowed it to dissolve while moving on to part 2 of the brining process, which is getting everything else ready. I like to thoroughly rinse my bird first, and today I'm using the ice chest method for my brine. I got a scent-free trash bag and placed it in an ice chest, then placed the turkey inside the bag. Next, I poured my brine solution into the bag, and then I finished it off by pouring the other 1/2 gallon of water. Twist the bag nice and tight to ensure no moisture escapes and that the turkey is completely covered in brine. Then I pour in at least 1.5 bags of ice to keep it cool overnight. I like to brine between 12 and 15 hours. And in the morning, just take your turkey out of the brine, give it a good rinse in the sink one more time, and you're good to go on to the next steps of cooking the best turkey you ever had. So that was tip number one. Tip number two, make sure you get your turkey out of the refrigerator or the ice chest at least 30 minutes before you start cooking. You want that turkey to kind of come up in temperature a little bit, not hours, but at least 30 to 40 minutes, because remember, those bones are big inside, particularly on the drumstick, and they're very, very cold. You want those joints to kind of loosen up a little bit and come up to temp. That way your turkey will cook a lot more even. And tip number 3, preheat your oven, and while the oven's coming up to temperature, you can go ahead and follow whatever the process is to prepare your turkey. So I'm gonna go ahead and preheat my oven. I'm gonna set my temperature at 300. That's where I like to start. I'm at 350, so I'm gonna come down a little bit to 300. Also, make sure there's nothing inside the oven.
Now, the most important thing when cooking turkey is making sure that that breast and the leg are done at the same time. And if you're looking for an awesome true probe thermometer to help you track temperature while you're cooking your turkey, y'all should check out this one from Tyfer, the sponsor of this video. You see, when you're cooking a turkey, you want to have a probe thermometer like this one. Let me tell you why. Because it does have 2 probes, and they can track temperature of the entire turkey throughout the cook. That means you have one in the breast and one in the thigh, and you're monitoring temperature to make sure they both get done at the same time. Plus, knowing the ambient temperature of the oven, you'll know exactly where you're at all the time. So in this video, I'm using the Tyfer Sync Gold Dual, which, like I said, has 2 probes. This is super helpful when it comes to cooking turkey because the breast and the thigh can get away from each other, and you really need them to both finish at the same time. That might take some rotating, it might take some foil, but the best solution is to have a dual probe thermometer. This thermometer is completely wireless and super easy to use. It has superior durability with heat resistance up to 932 degrees Fahrenheit. Plus, with the 6 individual sensors that are in each probe, you get super accurate ambient and internal meat temperature tracking. The signal is so strong to the point that you can stay connected up to 3,000 feet. Hey y'all, I'm out here in the patio about 500 feet away from my oven, catching up on text messages and emails and stuff on my phone. And as you can see, the Tyfer app is picking up the signal way out here. We're really tracking good. We're almost done cooking our turkey, as a matter of fact. That's why I have it out here so I can monitor from my phone as well. Now, what if you have to run to the store because someone forgot the dinner rolls and the cranberries? Maybe they forgot the pumpkin pie. Well, you can monitor the temperature of your cook right from the Typher app on your phone. So if you're serious about cooking a perfect turkey this holiday and you want to upgrade your thermometer, y'all be sure to check out the Typher Sync Gold Dual. Y'all can get the Typher Sync Gold on Black Friday for the lowest price of the year. It's originally priced at $229, but now you can get it for $149.
And y'all can use my code ARNIEGOLD for an extra 15% off at checkout.
This will get you perfectly cooked turkey with no guesswork, only with the Typher Sync Gold. This is really a super easy to use and super accurate thermometer. I really think y'all are gonna love it. I'm gonna follow some of MommaTex's prep process. She likes to use fresh rosemary. Chop up some of this instead of leaving it whole. Now remember, all ingredients are basically optional. Everybody has different preferences. I'm gonna get this right here on this little plate. I'm gonna take some salted butter. We're going to shake just a little bit more of this poultry seasoning, not a whole lot. So what I like to do is to smash up the butter and mix it up with the rosemary. Make sure you take your butter out of the refrigerator a couple hours ahead of time so it can be easy to smash like this. This is a stick and a half of butter. Our oven is to temp. Let's hurry up and get this done. Now that we have it all smashed up here, I also like to add a little bit of onion flavor and just a little bit of garlic powder as well. We're gonna smash that all up. So what I like to do, I like to get in here and just start with the finger, get it under the skin here from the back, and take your time, don't get into a hurry. You don't wanna rip the skin. You want to separate the skin from the meat right back here. You want to make sure you get all the way down here to the bottom of the breast, because some of the butter and the liquid will collect there and then it'll kind of sort of bubble up into the meat. In my opinion, I think it does a great job of adding a little extra moisture and a little extra flavor to the turkey. And then just basically take you a big old dab of butter, spread it out under here, get it all over the breast. You can kind of push it around from the outside with your other hand. Make sure it spreads nice and even. Again, take your time, be a little bit careful. And then you want to spread some of this around the outside of the skin here. Make sure you get it onto the wings as well. This will be our binder. Okay, so we have our bird brined. We've got butter, rosemary, garlic, and onion under the skin and over the skin. It's time to give it a light little shake of some salt, pepper, garlic. That's personally my preference. You can use whatever you like. Now, one other thing I like to do is I like to add a little extra rub on the inside of the turkey. While it's cooking, it's gonna dissolve with some of the natural juices of the turkey and the butter that's in there. It's gonna steam. That butter and that steaming will help keep the breast nice and juicy. Pro tip number 4, make sure you use a good temperature monitoring system. Today I'm using the Typher Sync Gold Dual. We're gonna take probe number 1. We're gonna insert that into the breast horizontally. You wanna make sure you get it all the way in to where you only have this little bit of stainless steel exposed. You wanna make sure you go past this little black line here. That's called the safety line. That needs to be inserted all the way into the meat, right down in the middle of the thigh, way down here. We want that part to be exposed right there, but not the little black line. So that to me is perfect right there. Let's go ahead and get our Typher Sync Gold turned on. I'm gonna set my breast to a lower temperature than the thigh. You want your breast to be at least in the 150 to 155 range. Remember that there's carryover cooking. Now let's set our thigh probe, that's number 2. We're gonna select that one. We're going to manually set it, and we're gonna raise this one all the way up to 165. Let's get our turkey into the oven and start cooking. In an hour, I was over in the office and I was monitoring the temperature. And y'all can see here on the Typher Sync Gold that our temperatures are fairly even. Probe 1's at 93, probe 2's at 96. That's a very good sign that the thighs are cooking a little bit faster than the breasts. Y'all remember the thighs were like 49 or 40 some degrees while the breast was a little bit higher, but now the thighs have got ahead, so that's a very good thing. We're gonna open the oven, take a quick peek, coming along really good. Now, some folks like to put a little bit of liquid in the pan. I don't put any liquid at the beginning. The reason I don't put liquid in the pan right off the bat is because I do want that tray to get hot. I want that heat to start to heat up the thighs from the bottom up. I want the bottom of the turkey to start cooking. It's been 2 hours and we're gonna check our turkey one more time. We've been cooking at 300 degrees. I wanna baste it with a little bit of butter. That's just something that I like to do. You can see that the 2 temperatures are running exactly even at this point in time. We're at 129 on the breast and 129 on the thigh. That is a good thing. Let's go ahead and slide our turkey out a little bit so we can baste it with a little bit of butter. And be careful that you don't drop any butter inside your oven. Make sure it all drips right down into the tray.
not in the oven. And all you want to do is just kind of drizzle it on here like that. But let me turn the turkey around so that we can baste the other side too. And remember, we've got a little bit of garlic and a little bit of rosemary on here. This is some good stuff, man. Adds a lot of great flavor to the turkey. At this point, I'm gonna crank up our heat to 350 degrees. That's one of the reasons I like to start at 300. As you can see, the Typher here is showing us that the temperatures are almost identical. It cooks nice and even, both the breast and the thigh. Cranking up the heat a little bit, we're gonna roast the skin and get a little bit of color and hopefully accomplish that nice crispy skin too. All right, friends, we are on the home stretch. We're getting close to being done with our turkey. This is not the time to go hang out in the backyard with the family or the friends. It's not the time to go upstairs and watch the game with your private TV. You need to stay close by, because once all that meat and bones are at a certain temperature, getting close to being done, it starts to finish out really quick. So don't leave. Make sure you stay close by and pay attention and watch your Typher really close like a hawk. Let's go ahead and slide it out one more time. Be very careful. This is a very, very hot turkey. We're starting to develop some really nice color now that we turned up the heat a little bit. And put a little bit more of this butter on here. Doesn't take a whole lot. Put a little bit on these wings. Try to get a little color on there. It's looking really nice. Let me rotate this a little bit and baste the other side. And we're cooking at 350 now, a higher temperature. That will usually add that beautiful color and crisp up the skin. Let's slide it back in. So our second baste is done. It's nice and dry. It's getting a beautiful color. Our Typher says we're at 146 on the breast, 141 on the thigh. So I'm gonna put some foil over the breast so it doesn't get way overcooked beyond the thigh. And all I'm gonna do is put a little foil over it like this. It's gonna cover up the breast here, like so. You wanna make sure that you leave the center open like that. All right, super. Let's get it back in there. So we've got our breast foiled up. Slowing that down a little bit. Let the thighs continue to cook. We'll see you guys in a little bit. You can see how the breast cooking slowed down. We put that foil on there. It has still continued to cook. It's sitting at 152. The thighs have jumped up to 163. I've got that set to 165 and 155 respectively. So we've accomplished the goal of not overcooking the breast. They're both gonna be done at just about the same time. It's ready. Typher Sink Gold works like a charm. It says our turkey's ready. It's time to turn our oven off and get it out of the oven and let it rest for about 20 minutes or so. Let's get the turkey out of the oven. It looks pretty to me. Look at that. Beautiful color. The probes already hit the target temperature, so it's time to take them out. I recommend you give them a little twist. They're easier to pull that way. And a little twist. I usually like to let them sit there for a couple of seconds after they come halfway out. That helps the juice stay in the meat for the most part. So we've got our probes out. I'm gonna use the drippings for our gravy, so I need to get this turkey off of this pan. Now, before we carve into this bird, no turkey's complete without some delicious gravy. To make my gravy today, I'm starting with a stock, which consists of 16 ounces of chicken broth, a quarter of a white onion, 2 diced garlic cloves, and also adding the turkey neck chopped into pieces and into the pan. Bring all that to a low simmer for about an hour. Next, in a separate pan, add a tablespoon of oil, and once it's hot, add 2 tablespoons of flour and stir constantly to get a nice brown color. From there, start to strain in your stock, little by little, and whisk frequently so that everything starts incorporating together. Once that's done, strain in the drippings from the turkey. This is where so much flavor comes from. And if you have a fat separator, you can also take the fat out before adding the drippings to the pan. So keep on stirring and bring it to a nice little simmer. And finally, take your turkey neck, chop it up really nice and fine, and add that to the pan. The trick here is to be patient and stir often, and allow some of the moisture to evaporate until you get the consistency of the gravy that you're looking for. Just like that. Yes, sir. Let's eat some turkey. It's time to carve up this turkey and enjoy some delicious, juicy Thanksgiving turkey. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the wings off. I like to pull these first. They break right off. Now that is the sign of a perfectly cooked turkey, when the wings just come right off like that. Let's go ahead and cut off our thighs. Okay, let's carve up this breast. Ooh, look at that, beautiful. Look at that, it's super moist in there. I'm not sure if the camera picks that up, but you can definitely see the juice. Oh, wow. Let's get this drumstick off. See how easy it comes off on that joint? That is the sign of a perfectly cooked turkey. We carved off some parts of the turkey here. If you can see the cutting board, there's so much juice here. It ran into the little rails out here on the side. I want to see what this thigh tastes like. Man, that just comes right out. Look at that, just beautiful. Oh man, that's one thing I like about the brine. Man, it just adds so much flavor. Right down into the meat. Man, oh man, look at this. Look at this drumstick. Super moist, comes right apart. That's a good turkey leg. Let's slice this up in this lake of juice here. Now time for the breast, and I want to drizzle a big old spoonful of this delicious looking gravy here. Boom. A little gravy, a little turkey breast. Oh wow, super moist. Very moist inside. This turkey breast was super, super moist. It was delicious. The brine took the flavor right down to the bone. So you can taste the same flavor across the entire breast, the same flavor on the thigh. Of course, the meats have their own unique taste, but the thigh was super moist. The drumstick was super moist. That Thai for Sink Gold did exactly what it promises to do, deliver exact temperatures, and that made this turkey super juicy, super perfect. Matter of fact, I'm proud to serve this turkey. It is super delicious. I need another bite. That's so good. Turkey's amazing. Gravy's amazing. Perfect temperature, incredible. And if y'all are interested, y'all can go to arnisasada.com and get my OG that we used on this turkey, as well as the Wow, the Boom, and the all-new rice seasoning for perfectly cooked rice to go with your turkey. How about that? And I also have my autographed cookbook on my website at arnisasada.com. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Y'all remember to keep the smoke light and make it work. Boom! Boom! More and more turkey. More turkey. This stuff's good, man. Super good turkey. Incredible.